The following information is based on my personal opinion and does not pretend to give any practical or theoretical advice to the listener. It pretends to be used as inspiration. Eventually, you might have asked yourself at one point in time the following question: how would it be if I reach a life of continuous happiness? What comes to mind? Maybe you think, finally arriving where I want to be. My dream came true. I am at the top of the world. I possess every material thing I ever wanted. I am famous, beautiful, rich and powerful while I live forever. And by the way, everyone loves me. This somewhat defines what I will reach when I get there: happiness. Is that what happiness is? What would be my possible actions related to reaching that goal as fast as possible? Well, I have a plan. It should work. I use my willpower, discipline, brute force, and endless hours. I might have just to suffer the most. My life might be miserable for now. It is a price I am willing to pay. But after that, eventually, because I worked so hard, and in part because I am lucky enough, I will be rewarded with eternal happiness, which includes all the perks and gifts of life that I ever wanted. But there are these external forces, those seem to be working against my wishes. Unfortunately, there are some obstacles arising. It is just that others, they stay in between of what I want and need and my final destination. I need to satisfy them, their demands and expectations. Family, friends, neighbors, the village, the city, the country, and in general, the world. All those unfavorable circumstances, those are happening to me. Those are responsible that I don't get there. My material situation does not allow me to follow my dreams right now. But watch me, I am determined. I don't care. I push, I fight, I will cheat, and I pretend. If I only accept maximum pain, it should work. I will insist in absolute positivism. Is that something that you recognize as what in parts is happening to you? I invite you, and I might challenge you, to be able to confess privately to yourself that this in parts had been your secret path to happiness. Most of us might already have experienced some disappointments and a certain amount of frustration on the way using those kinds of methods. If this is the case, and you can be aware of yourself having embarked this way of progress in your life, even if it were just in the slightest, I must congratulate you. You are on the path to discover something. You are approaching the awareness of something important about your human condition. You learned about yourself. At least you learned what you do not want. I have to point to the fact that you have something very ordinary in common with your flesh buddies. There is this underlying sentiment of emptiness, a suspicion in the back of your head of being worthless. Some sort of unhappiness, restlessness, and knowing that you are unfulfilled. You might have already looked for a lot of reasons why this is happening to you personally. You might have already asked for help from friends, family, or even professionals. When doing that, most of us have experienced some form of release when explaining to others about our struggle in a particular way. I have unique problems. I'm ugly. I'm weak. I was born under a bad star. I'm not enough. My parents didn't love me. I have bad luck all the time. Other people don't like me. No one loves me. I'm different. In general, let me tell you the story why I am having a non-happy life. How do you feel right now after hearing all these statements? Take a moment to notice your feelings. Do you generally feel good or not so good right now? Maybe you are able to sense some type of friction or uneasiness. Are those statements you eventually make about you and your life story really true? There is this ultimate goal, the desire which promises so much. Happiness. Something that is different from what you experience in your real life right now. As a reaction to that perceived reality, as mentioned before, there is the opportunity to embrace the action-oriented strategies and plans to make things happen. Then, there are the frustration that those actions led so far to nothing close to happiness. This creates a lot of friction in your being. You are experiencing friction in between something that should be and what you perceive as your actual life situation. You are stuck with those action steps you are ready to take right now. Those only confirms that nothing is like it should be. It immediately gives you the argument that you have the absolute right to be unhappy, because you're not where you or who or how you want to be. So we could stop here and just keep ourselves busy with the usual activities. We keep going and wait for things to get better. Maybe once in a while we would like to meet others and complain, explain, elaborate, and feel frustrated about the same terrible situation that we are all stuck in and fight so hard to get out of. This would give us some sort of release for a moment. We get rid of some of the tension that is present in our body and mind. Be aware, there is a disadvantage included when you do that. For the price of listening, you are being invited to be even more worried and frustrated about the terrible situation that those other beings are stuck in. You ruin their lives too. You confirm to them that they cannot be happy because their problems are real. You are not able to see their divine being. You just see another bunch of obstacles. That's it. Now we can go and keep doing that like forever. Or maybe there's a way out of this dilemma? If you are still listening, there might be some help on the horizon. The beneficial question to ask would be, who are you really? Let's make a step back before we dive into this most important question. When you make these plans to improve your life with the pursuit to reach happiness, you might like to explain to yourself and others first what your current situation looks like. Do you notice your tendency of storytelling? You are not just delivering the facts without judgment. You add details, sentiments, harsh judgments about others and about material things and manifestations those block you from getting to the promised land. You embellish with drama, exaggerating the facts to make your point. Dissecting your account of facts in the story you are telling to others, probably those will turn out not to be 100% correct. Do not take this as a judgment about you lying, but a reminder that we, as humans, do not have the ability to know all the aspects of reality. You might have already experienced in your lifetime that as an individual, we only have access to one point of view from our personal perspective. We do not know everything. I will now offer you a metaphor, some kind of example that helps you understand my point of view. Imagine the following. If knowledge were a flat, rotating disk where the truth and absolute reality is in the middle, ignorance and not knowing is on the furthest edge of that disk. As individuals, we are located, depending on our wisdom and experience in life, somewhere further away from absolute truth on that disk. We move around, we learn, we change, and at best, slowly we get closer to the truth. Naturally, we thrive to know the truth. Then there's our judgment about others. We love to judge because we need to assure that we are right in our proceeding towards the center. In consequence, something unwanted happens because we are ignorant. We are easily confused when we see others. So those are maybe similarly close to the center of that disk, but diagonally located on the opposite side of that same disk. We identify those as our enemy because we see them going into the wrong direction. They have the same experience about us and our ways to approach truth. So we think it is necessary to act in conflict with those who are so different to us. Our limited perception of reality clouds our judgment about facts. So we make it up with additional stories, those explain everything happening to us. The results are not really helping but make us suffer more. We insist that we are right about the constrictions those inhibit us from reaching our much desired level of happiness. Even if those stories are beside reality, they are real for us. We have the tendency to replay those stories so many times in our mind and telling them to others up to a point where we strongly believe them to be true. We defend them and fight against anyone who disagrees. As more often as we tell those stories, the more they seem real for us. We look for signs in our immediate surroundings, those confirm our beliefs. When we have those signs appearing, we shout out, "See, I was right all the way. I told you so. That is how it is." When believing those stories we make up about ourselves, it's like watching at everything that surrounds us through a filter that only lets us see anything that aligns with our beliefs, based on the stories we tell. We are blind to the opportunities and positive things approaching us, being completely absorbed by our little story. When reacting defensive and action-oriented related to these perceptions, we tend to dive deeper into darkness. But what can we do to turn this around? What are our options to be happy? Maybe you don't know, but happiness is your birthright. We can embark a journey towards recognizing our true self. We can take back our real power of choice and be creators of our reality by expanding our consciousness. We can choose. As a first step to happiness, we can choose our own story. This might be a hard pill to swallow for those that are in love with their problems. If we are used to our story, it gives us a false feeling of safety. Everything is so bad, but I'm used to it and I cannot change anything because of X, Y, and Z. It can be scary to leave the hamster wheel of self-pity. We do not want any change because at least we know our own problems very well. Those are my problems you don't understand. Anything changing our lives is unsure, unknown, and mysterious. It seems like taking an unnecessary risk without any insurance of taking us anywhere better. But yes, it's true. You can choose your story. Do not just believe what you just heard. Please choose. Use your free will. Deliberately make a choice regarding your life situation. I invite you to make an experiment at your own pace in your actual life. Take a step. Choose a small story that you would like to happen. Choose an event in the future that you would like to happen in a specific, satisfying way. Make it in your fantasy play out like a movie, based in reality. Add all your senses and feel them while imagining what should happen. You might want to be, for a start, quite general when describing what you want to happen. But it is important and works better if the vision you create has some real feelings attached. Those feelings have to be good feelings. Otherwise, if you do not feel anything, or worse, if it does not feel good what you are imagining, you went the wrong turn and end up reinforcing something negative in your life. You would be reinforcing beliefs, those tint your perceptions, that you are stuck with the unwanted circumstances, those define your life. Remember always, your feelings are your compass. Your feelings are your guidance, available in any moment, any place. If it feels good, go for it. If it feels bad, choose something different. In this little experience, you discover your creative power, which is and had been your power at all times. Although you might have neglected the awareness of your power and mostly misused that power in a myriad of ways. Try this experiment and learn that you have the power to bend reality to your advantage. If you don't have an idea of what to ask for or what to create, maybe you imagine a specific day of the coming week that you would like to be a very happy day. Fire yourself up. Create the best vision possible. Daydream about that coming day like nothing else matters. Like there were no limits for you as the creator. Like everything is possible. Just make your perfect version of the day, play it out in your mind. Be general. Don't get trapped into detailed specifics, but concentrate on how good it feels when it happens your way. Maybe repeat the coming days your visionary predictions. Then finally, let go of it. Do not insist in your vision. Make it playful, forget about it. But maybe mark it in your calendar for the day after. That would be the moment when you check back at your experiment and reflect about what happened on that specific day. Check if something different happened. Rinse and repeat. This should be just an action that you can take that does not harm anyone, but might give you a new perspective on your ability to be the creator of your own life. It is just a small test to bring awareness on your creative powers not a new method to micromanage your future life. Be mindful that this should be a vision where no one gets harmed. It should be somehow beneficial for all beings involved. That is always your responsibility as a creator. Let a feeling of love guide you in the process of creation. Remember, when you share happiness, it multiplies. That makes happiness different from cutting bread. This is actually something you choose to do. Small steps are more important than huge changes. It's like walking the earth. It's easy to make small steps, but quite steep to be 3,000 kilometers further down the road in 10 seconds. Just check your feelings about your vision. Does it feel good? Keep creating. It is more important to pick something that you are able to believe than miraculously might be possible, than something that is so far-fetched that it feels like a huge stretch. It's about learning to choose the good stuff. Learn to be aware of bad stories in your life. Be aware of feeling bad. Be attentive when you keep telling your bad story. Just drop it. Change your focus. Choose a different story. Another experiment you might want to test out in a respectful and loving way. Maybe you meet someone new who does not know you and your usual story. Someone you might meet just this one time in life. Use this reunion like a clean slate. If that person talks to you, tell them a different story, where everything happens your way, where you are lucky and happy. By telling someone you do not know something completely different about yourself from what you normally used to tell, when presenting yourself to a new person, you could choose to create a new story about yourself. See how this other being is reacting to your invented personality. Observe to where the new story leads your conversation. Make it nice, loving, and respectful. Make the new story close to who you are, but make it perfect, the way you would wish it should be. If it works and you have the best time of your life pretending to be someone else, enjoy. This is not an instruction to start a criminal career. It's just for you personally, giving you the opportunity to experience yourself in a different way. It's just an experience, not the final tool to manipulate the world to your likings. You can see for yourself how it could be if you took matters into your own hands and bend reality in a good way. You might learn that you are in charge when it comes to your life. Observe how that feels, even if you perceive yourself being unrealistic. Remember, what you are really looking for is to be happy. Why not start right away? If by any means you make the slightest advancement on your path to happiness, understand this: you are the creator of your own reality. Don't let anyone or anything convince you otherwise. This is not about believing something extraterrestrial. This is about knowing and being aware. So you must have certain experiences, those reveal to you your true nature. There's something very mysterious and deep to discover about your true self. You should use your awareness to question yourself who you really are. You can learn that you are not the stories you tell others about yourself. You are not what seems to be your body, your thoughts, or your mind. You are not the person you tell others you are. All of that is just a story you believe to be true. Be kind to yourself. Forgive yourself. Love yourself first. Be grateful. Choose the good feeling. Make small steps, but be wise to choose the right direction. What you feel indicates the path you should choose. You have a precise purpose in life, but you are the only one who can discover what that purpose is. Once you learn that there's nothing written in stone, nothing insurmountable in your reality, you can embrace the path to know yourself. You are free to choose. Be aware that you choose anyway, even if you go with the flow. Pay attention. Expand your awareness. You will learn and discover about your real true nature, and by that, set yourself free. Finally, you will reach happiness in the form of continuous bliss. I wait for you over here. Come closer. Join me.